Hey, welcome to a new video. Since Halloween's coming up, I thought it would be fun to do a little tutorial on how to make like just a little witch decoration. This idea was inspired by my grandma actually, who taught me how to make little angels in the same way that I'm going to show you in this video. So I'm just using these little pig people that I got from Michael's. It's just these by Creatology. And I went ahead and just painted this green just for the sake of time. So I think I'll start with the face. So you'll just want to put some eyes on it, and I'm going to use this Folk Art multi-surface satin paint in Indigo Night. And you don't need a whole lot. Oh, and for the skin color, I used the same brand, same type of paint. And I just mixed a little bit of titanium white and fresh cut grass. But you can use like any color you want. And I'm just gonna take this little dotting tool and make some eyes. And while those dry, I'm just gonna do some little rosy cheeks. So I'm gonna mix this Artist Loft paint in rose. And again, you can use any color you want. And I'm just gonna mix a little bit of that with the skin tone that I mixed earlier. I want it to be like kind of pink, so I'm just mixing as much in there as I need to make it the color that I want. And you want to do it just like kind of right under the eye. And then I'm going to wait for this to dry a little bit before I add some of the finishing details. So while that dries, I'm going to get started on making the hat. So I'm doing kind of a greenish purple sort of theme as opposed to like traditional witch colors, I guess. So I have this like kind of mossy green colored felt, and then I have some like ribbon here. I don't know how well it shows up in the camera, but this is kind of a like dusty purple, and then I've got some gold, and I have a few other colors off to the side, which I'll get into later. Okay, so I forgot how to do math for a second. I tried to cut out like just the rim of the hat, and it ended up being too big. So new strategy. I'm just gonna like trace like the base of this little figure. It looks like it's about the same circumference as the head, so I think that'll work. I think what we'll do for like the outer edges of the hat brim, so I'll just trace this little glass cup here. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but I can't remember what it is right now. And I think the inside, or the like pointy part of the hat is gonna be like just the, not the diameter, but like, it's been a while since I've done geometry. Okay, so you want the diameter of the circle that you just made. So this one's like 6.5 centimeters, and that's gonna be length of the sides of the fourth circle that we're gonna make for the pointy part. That should fit a lot better. Yeah, there we go. So from here, we're gonna cut some slits into the halves, or not half, fourth circle piece. Just don't make them like too deep, I guess. And just do it along the rounded edge. And try and make them as even as possible. And I'm actually gonna try and sew this. I'm not really worrying too much about like how even my stitches are. I think it would be kind of cute to have them be more uneven, and they might not even really show up that much once I turn it inside out. Then we're just going to turn this inside out. I'm just going to use the end of a paintbrush to get the rest of the end out. There we go. So now that the top part of the hat is done, I'm just going to take some glue, and I'm just going to use like craft glue, like the tacky glue kind, but you could probably use hot glue too if you wanted. So I'm just going to stick the top part into the rim, and then we're going to fold these flaps down and glue them to the bottom of the rim. And I'm just going to set that aside to dry for now. And the face should be dry by now, so I'm just going to add the finishing touches to it. I'm going to take some white paint. Again, you don't need much. I'm going to add some highlights to the eyes. And I'm going to add some to the cheeks as well. And this one I'm just going to blur out with my finger. I'm going to let both of those dry for a bit and then I'll come back. So now that the face is dry, I'm going to go in with some Mod Podge just to seal the paint. I like to use the matte version, but you can use the gloss version or just a completely different sealant altogether, or you can just leave it unsealed. It's up to you. Once again, just setting that down to dry. We shouldn't need this anymore, so I'm just going to set that aside as well. Now we can get to the fun part, where we have to make our little dress. So you'll want wired ribbon for this. You'll want to make sure that it's like wide enough. So I have this one from Michaels. It's 2.5 inches, and it's just sort of a ribbed black. But again, you can use like any ribbon you want as long as it's wide enough. And from there, you just want to kind of figure out like how much you need to cover the whole like circumference of the body. And I like to make them kind of poofy as well, so I think I'm gonna make it to about here. Measure this out. It's about 14 centimeters, or about 5.5 inches. And what you do next is you want to take, like, see how the wire is kind of sticking out? I don't know how well it shows up on camera. But you'll just want to sort of scrunch the ribbon up along that. Let's see if I can get it. It might take a little bit of like work to get it to where you need it to be. So from here we're just going to wrap it around the top. neck area. This might almost be easier with some pliers or something. Let's get it as tight as possible. I'm just gonna sort of wrap these around. I'm actually gonna just take the wire out of the bottom so it's not so stiff. Now that she's got like sort of a start of a dress, I can go in and like add some fun, colorful bits. So I'm gonna take some of this purple. I'm gonna cut off approximately the same amount that I used for the main part of the dress. I'm just gonna sort of overlay that on top of the black in the same method that I used before. Once again, I'm just gonna remove the wire from the bottom. And I actually think I'm gonna just turn this around. And same process as before, I'm gonna take some of this, because I think it would look really cute. And I'm gonna stick it like kind of underneath. And I might do a couple layers of that. I planned ahead a little bit better. I probably would have painted this orange, but since I wasn't totally sure like where I wanted to go with the outfit, well, it's just the color of the skin. But ideally, you'd probably want to paint it the same color as like the dress. So if you do use more of a sheer ribbon, like I did, then it won't look so strange. Next step is we're going to use some hot glue just to kind of glue some of this down just to keep it in place. And I'm going to use this brown ribbon just to make a little bow for the front of her dress. Next, we're going to glue on the hat. And I'm just going to decorate the hat a little bit. I have this sort of like shiny green ribbon that I think I'll use. Just figure out like how much you need. And this will help cover up that seam too, between the top of the hat and the rim. And then I did get some little flowers from Michael's, like just some fake flowers. So I kind of want to stick one like just sort of over here maybe, or like maybe a couple. I think I'll stick them maybe like that. They're a little bit big, but that's okay. With that, she's pretty much done. So, like, last step is just kind of, clean up all the hot glue strings if you use hot glue, and trim anything. But I think she turned out pretty cute. Anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!